I thought to myself, when I'm reading these things, because I read these things for my own time. I don't get classwork assignment credit or anything like that. I don't have any interchange with anybody, and I live in the vicinity of the art school for Utica, New York, and I don't have any ambition of joining. The tuition is probably too much for me to afford, so I'm sure over the years I've looked at it as a possibility. But what's the difference if I'm not going to go too far with like an education? Because I can't afford it. And so I'm doing these readings on my own interest, self interest, and these are the things that I've been doing since I was 16. Since I was 16 years old, I've been doing this stuff, talking to myself. Only this time I got YouTube online. Here's the Legacy of Rome. Here's another great. It's a great old binded book, man. Even ripped up as it is and old. It's just see. It's a discarded book from New Hartford School District Number 8. That's what it says. They're throwing these books out at the school. They're giving them to the library to throw in the hallway for discards. It's not the history they want to teach anymore, apparently. Oxford University Press. First published 1923. This is a reprint. Three times. This is the 1936 edition. Printed in Great Britain at the University Press, Oxford. John Johnson, printer of the university. It's awesome. That alone made me want to pick up the book. It's age. I wanted to see what they had to say. Now, I'm not going to start reading out of this because it's just. I did read it, parts of it. Here's Religion and Philosophy. It tells you basically the basics of civilization as we understand it. Right here. Not one thing or the other, just basic understanding. Religion and Philosophy. Communication and Commerce. Administration. Family Social Life. Science of Law. Language, Literature, Science. I'm reading the chapter titles. I've got a great book in my closet. I'm going to grab out of there that I was starting to read. I haven't really read it. Excuse me. I haven't really read it. I was skimming through it years ago. These glasses are crooked as hell. I was reading through it years ago. It's a Italian folk tales, and it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. It's an old collection of Italian folklore, old folklore, and things, and it's interesting. It's a great book. I gotta get it out of the closet. I'm gonna bring that up for today, February 10th. Here's the Rubiayat of Omar Khayyam, translated into English. Edward Fitzgerald. It's a great book. It's a classic piece of literature. You can't. And what would you that spangle of existence spend about the secret? Quick about it, friend. A hair perhaps divides the false and true, and upon what, prithee, may life depend? A hair perhaps divides the false and true, yes, and a single a leaf were the clue, could you but find it to the treasure house, and pre-adventure to the master too. See, over years, over time, over decades, over this, over that, over who gets to control the change person, who gets to make political decisions, and who gets to govern. People like me, I guess, untrained, unschooled, unrecognized, I'll say we get told that we're manic depressive or things like that, depending on how much we want to do craziness and believe in some kind of delusion that we aren't fit to be shaking hands. But I was just reading, or not reading, I was seeing a DVD. I should get the box. Daniel Johnston. Let me get the, hold on. Let me get the box. I'll stop.